With a cup of tea in hand, I sat next to another homeschooling parent in the sunlit space where some of us met. The conversation had drifted towards reporting to the government, how each of us is navigating forms, timelines, documentation. My fingers tightened around my mug. I found myself starting to speak fluently about policy, regulations, frameworks, the nuances of compliance. I realized, mid-sentence, that this fluency was part information and part performance, a school habit of demonstrating competence, expertise, and asserting authority. Across from me, I caught the flicker of tension in another parent who added that it was best to consult a teacher. The difference was familiar and telling. It revealed the same conditioning I had felt in myself. The ingrained habit of benchmarking one's competence against someone else's, or against a sanctioned figure of knowledge. The learned need to resort to authority. In that brief exchange, we were both performing the schooling that shaped us. One of us enacted authority through fluency, the other through deference. The quiet race of expertise, of who could display understanding, who could navigate bureaucracy with apparent ease, all played out without explicit comparison or competition, yet entirely present in the air between us. Even here, in a space I chose because it promises freedom from those patterns, they resurface. And yet, I also saw the possibility of stepping out of it by catching myself trying to perform expertise and instead choosing to pause mid-sentence, and by not rushing to show my disagreement to defer to a teacher. These were inner moments of resistance, and they felt fragile. They required me to stay present and humble. I felt uncomfortable at first, like stepping off a moving walkway. But in these small hesitations, I began to see a different rhythm emerging, one where learning exists in conversation and sharing inquiry, rather than in hierarchy and competition. I think about how these experiences resonate with insights from the social sciences. Paulo Freire's insistence on dialogue as resistance against hierarchical knowledge feels tangible here. Every willingness to slow down and listen, every attentive conversation is an act of relational unlearning. Later in the day, I reflect on my own competitiveness, the subtle deferral to authority, but also the small moments where I chose to just listen, step back, hold the space, and stay in conversation instead. These moments feel significant, not because they are perfect, but because they are human, fragile, relational, and intentional. I wonder how much of this is replicable, how much is fleeting, and whether I will carry this attentiveness into other spaces. I recognize that these micro practices, pausing, listening, resisting immediate judgment, are not grand gestures, but they are deeply transformative when viewed through the lens of the schooling habits they quietly resist. In spaces like these, I once again see how unlearning works not in isolation, but in conversation and relationship, in sharing knowledge without telling it, in the small, repeated moments of presence, in the willingness to pause and stay in conversation.